Pastoral livestock herding of Mongolia is rooted in three core elements that must stay in balance with the fragile ecosystem of the Mongolian grasslands. To preserve sustainability, agricultural practices must maintain a stocking rate in relation to the carrying capacity of pasture lands, keep a rotational grazing schedule of summer and autumn ranges, and allow for long-term resting of winter and spring pastures. The widespread disregard for these methods over the last 2 decades represents the main obstacle for achieving sustainable livestock herding practices. The stocking rate has exceeded the carrying capacity by 2 to 3 times. Herders have stopped rotational use of grazing lands and do not allow pasture lands to rest. This situation has led to degradation and desertification of rangelands, declining productivity and quality of livestock from malnutrition, growing vulnerability to natural disasters and risks. The Green Gold Project has been working in the pasture management sector of Mongolia in the last 6 years. Intervention areas include development of sound information about the state of pasture land degradation. How much of the rangeland is degraded heavily? Is it reversible? How much is moderately degraded? What management strategies to recommend? How much has remained healthy? How can we prevent it from getting degraded? If pasture land is healthy, the following indicators are observed. No changes in original species composition, no changes in palatable species proportion, productivity does not decrease more than 20%. If pasture land is moderately degraded, the following indicators are observed. Noticeable changes in species composition, dominant species are switched by co-dominant species, 3 to 4 invasive species make up 50% of the plant types, productivity decreases between 41 and 60%. If pasture land is heavily degraded, the following indicators are observed. Significant changes in species composition, key species are replaced by non-palatable invasive species, 5 invasive species make up 50% of the plant types, productivity decreases more than 60%, soil surface shows significant signs of erosion. As of January 2012, Green Gold Project, in collaboration with the local partners, has delivered the following results. Identification of ecological sites all over Mongolia, creation of a reference database on the status of Mongolian rangelands by 2012 at the National Agency for Meteorology, Hydrology, and Environmental Monitoring, streamlining of the database indicators to international standards to facilitate communication with the international community on rangeland health. Advocacy for the acceptance of national and international methodology for rangeland health and monitoring. Mongolian Society for Range Management, or MSRM, is contracted with MCA and Oyu Tolgoi to upgrade the methodology in different ecological regions. Domestication and certification of 5 forage seed varieties for propagation in Mongolia. Training of 100 pasture user group leaders in the photo monitoring method of rangeland health. 20 young rangeland researchers participated in short-term trainings. 8 master students and 4 doctoral students now conduct research work in rangeland health and monitoring. Presentation of research and the sharing of insights on Mongolian rangeland health occurred at the International Rangeland Conferences in France, Argentina, and the United States. For 2012, Green Gold Project has the following goals. to complete a report on the state of rangeland health in Mongolia by 2012 using new methodology. Organization of follow-up trainings for Namhem local technicians and engineers based on a needs assessment. Training of 2 data entry technicians at Namhem for the maintenance and operation of the National Rangeland Health Reference Database. To support Namhem in institutionalizing information management, marketing, and information decision-making at the policy level. Creation of a herder-friendly and accessible photo monitoring database for improved grazing management. The new concept of ecological potential-based rangeland health monitoring questions some of the fundamental issues of the currently applied methodology. As a result of this, the acceptance and ability to implement development efforts have consumed extra time. A new generation of rangeland researchers has grown. Green Gold Project will make a focused effort to institutionalize the new knowledge for a sustainable outcome. The Green Gold Project will strengthen traditional herder practices to encourage rotational grazing and resting of rangelands. This philosophy is based on the common interests of the herders, to have diverse grazing pastures for the animals, mountain rangelands in the summer, Gobi rangelands in the winter and spring, and lowland rangelands in the autumn. To organize and regulate access to these rangelands of common ownership, to have social network and to engage in mutually beneficial interactions. The Green Gold Project assists herders to identify and agree on the membership of pasture user groups, to define rangeland boundaries of the groups, to develop a common and agreed upon rangeland use plan, to develop participatory regulation, and to implement and monitor the plan. As of December 2011, the Green Gold Project facilitated formation of about 700 pasture user groups, or PUGs, of herders in 66 SUMs of 9 IMEGs. These groups include about 88.2% of all herders in these IMEGs. On the basis of these practices, groups of herders may establish a formal agreement with the local government on the use of their rangelands. As a result of these developments, herders and local government have become more able to develop and carry out regulated use of their common pastures. Between 2007 and 2010, the amount of pastures under planned and regulated rotational grazing and resting has increased. But in 2011, rotational grazing and resting has declined due to a decrease of herd size and a mild summer. Many herder families often share a common haymaking area. Herders have increasingly made collective investments to fence in haymaking areas to improve productivity. The mild winter in 2010 led to a surplus in planted green forage, and according to APUG leaders, the herders couldn't sell the surplus. This resulted in less investment in 2011 in forage planting. Alternative investments included wheat planting, establishing cooperatives, and investing in small-scale processing factories, brick making, felt making, dairy processing, and the development of other small enterprises. To support collective actions among herders in grazing management, Green Gold Project deploys a coordinated approach linked with economic benefits for herders. Pasture user groups are encouraged to establish matching revolving funds. A herder contributes 25 Swiss francs, and Green Gold Project matches an equal amount designated to the matching fund account. The PUG leader and board manage the matching revolving fund. The fund gets used primarily for small short-term loans to meet seasonal shortages of cash flow for herder households. A survey conducted in 2011 determined how the herders used money borrowed from the Herder Matching Revolving Fund. In the past 2 years, members of PUGs have recognized the benefits of establishing marketing cooperatives. Their collective actions in grazing management and the added financial flexibility of matching funds have given them an incentive to make them into formal organizations. The government has demonstrated support for herder cooperatives with budget allocations to the Mongolian Livestock Program and the Agricultural Stock Exchange Program. Green Gold Project facilitated establishment of 23 herder marketing cooperatives and helped to build up institutional capacity. Membership and the scale of operations have grown consistently in the past 2.5 years. The growth of the membership and the leadership capacity of the cooperatives will soon reach the government's criteria for support. In 2010-2011, the following cooperatives received support from different government funding. In 2010, the Green Gold Development Network Marketing Cooperative was set up in Ulaanbaatar. The main role of the cooperative is to facilitate access to large domestic and international markets. 8 Suom herder cooperatives have become members of this marketing cooperative. This year, the marketing cooperative facilitated purchase and sales of 133.9 tons of sheep wool, 5.6 tons of yak wool, 4.9 tons of camel wool. Herders receive 70% of the additional profit from wholesale selling after washing and dehairing, which amounts to 2,500 tukruks per kilogram yak wool and 75 tukruks per kilogram of sheep wool. The marketing cooperative has initiated access to international markets. This included a test sale of wool slippers to the Hyatt hotel chain in Asia, and the creation of an ecologically friendly collective certification mark of livestock products called Green Nomad, which will certify the production codes of agricultural products with no harmful effects on the ecological and social well-being of both rangeland and herders. Mongolia Day will showcase the first products bearing the Green Nomad mark in the United States in February of 2012. The Association of PUGs increasingly serves as a knowledge and information sharing network among herders. Many of the partners use it as a channel for sharing outreach information. All 66 Suoms have associations of PUGs. With the support of Green Gold Project, 23 out of 45 Suoms have service centers, which provide herders with training facilities, access to information, social and cultural services, and office space for leadership. Green Gold Project, in cooperation with the Extension Agency and local governments, has set up inter-Suom demonstration sites, and 32 more advanced PUGs have been selected. For 2012, Green Gold Project aims for the following results: to create and test a combined institutional model of PUGs and marketing cooperatives for sustainable development in 5 selected Suoms in cooperation with the Ministry of Food, Agriculture and Light Industries. To increase the number of APUGs and herder marketing cooperatives accessing government support and funding by 3 times. To test an extension model called Herder to Herder in cooperation with the State Extension Agency and the University of Agriculture. Up to 80% of PUGs made formal agreements with Suom governments to make planned and regulated use of common rangelands. Rangelands under regular rotational grazing and resting increased by 20%. Green forage planting in targeted Suoms increased by 3 times. Fenced haymaking also increased by 3 times. The agreements PUGs establish with local governments don't provide enough legal protections for both the conservation and entitlement to their pastures. In recent years, mining exploration has expanded into pasture lands, and mining companies have more legal privileges than herders. A Chinese mining company started conducting iron ore exploration in Chalustay Suom of Safhan Imag in the spring of 2011. PUG members halted the operation immediately and stopped the destruction of their main summer and fall grazing area, and also preserved an area of cultural heritage. Local herders, in cooperation with members of a Zoom citizens meeting delivered relevant documents to the state authority to invalidate the mining permit. This outcome demonstrated the implementation of legal protections for herders and their entitlement to rangelands. The Green Gold Project has deployed several innovative approaches to improve awareness at the high government and parliament levels. In cooperation with the Mongolian National Broadcasting, Green Gold established a public platform and organized public debates at all levels: herders, experts and researchers, and Parliament.